Let me tell you one more story. This story is about my friend Damien. He started serving in our church. He serves with worship and with VIP. Serving is very important to us. It's important to him. But as I got to know Damien, the levels go way deeper. See, Damien's whole life has been changed. He didn't want to come to this church. He didn't want to come to church. In fact, he said he had ideas of what a bigger church looked like. He had an idea of what all this looked like. He didn't like any of it. He wanted no part of it, is what he said. But then through an invite, he decided to come. He came with that same attitude, not wanting to be there, not wanting to hear what a pastor of a big church has to say. And he comes in, and it's on our Pastor Prayer Partner Weekend, which is where Pastor Brent opens up about statistics about pastors falling out of the faith, how hard it is to be a pastor of a church. And Damien said his heart was just torn apart. He said he could feel God working on him, saying, now you were judging this, but look at what God's doing. And he said, I need to start coming to church. I need to come to church here, even though it was against everything he walked in with. When he came in, he knew he had to make this place his home. After talking with Damien some more, I found out that this story actually has a lot more to it, that it's not just his story. So let's zoom out. It actually all began 3 years prior to this. 3 years ago, Julia and Chase came to Cascade. They made this place their home. They loved this place. They always wanted to invite their family, but the opportunity never arose. And that's a word for somebody, because don't give up on your family. You never know the seeds that are being planted and when they're going to come to harvest. So 3 years later, after Chase and Julia came, they'd been inviting their family. That's when Damien and Taylor came to church. But actually, it was more than that. It's a snowball of people came. So much so that it's kind of unbelievable. So try to keep up. Damien and Taylor came in January 2025. Then Damien's brother and sister-in-law came. Then Chase and Taylor's mom, stepdad, and grandma, their Nana, came to church. Then Damien's brother's wife came to church. But they didn't just come to church. They came and they surrendered their lives to Jesus. And they didn't just surrender their lives to Jesus. They started serving. They immediately got busy serving God's kingdom. This reminds me that no matter where you're at, you never give up on the power of an invite. You never underestimate the power of serving. We're not here to serve people or a church. We're here to serve God. And I'm reminded that in Mark 10:45, it says, even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom to many. This is an opportunity not to serve a church, not to serve a facility. It's about serving God and teaching people about Jesus, showing people that if Jesus came to serve, how much more should we?